go back over a few things that we've covered in the last couple of weeks, just to sort of refresh a few things. What we're covering today will be in the exam. How's that? Yay. Okay. First and foremost, I have to retract something I said in the last lecture. I made a bit of a boo-boo. So somebody asked me about the cross-sectional, how you get the size of the gutter, and I said it was related to the rainfall, the intensity. Sorry, my mistake. It's the way it was calculated, and we'll just cover it. On this particular, so the figure where we looked at this figure, where we take the capacity of the gutter and divide it by 100, that figure was actually, it's an assumption on the depth of the gutter. So my apologies, people. So if you assume it's this deep, divide it by that and you get your answer is wide. So that ends up with your answer for the width of the gutter. So please retract what I said last week. So that figure, the 100, and it could just as easily be 75, for example. If it's 75 deep, then it's going to be a wider gutter. So that figure, it's got assume one section is, that's assuming the section or the depth of the gutter is 100 millimeters. So by dividing that figure over here, you get that answer 105. That's assuming the gutter is 100 deep, it's going to be 100 wide, 105 wide. Does that make sense? So I do apologise for that. I went back and went, that was a good question, hang on, I better check. And yes, I was wrong. Okay, record that every time I see it. Alright, so just going back to these charts, these will be in your exams. These charts, they will be provided. You don't need to remember these charts. Obviously, this was to size our gutters and downpipes. All right. This will be in a question. This will be a question in the exam. If we cover the one that I think we covered this the other day. We were looking at downpipe A, downpipe B. This is a gable roof form, 4 meters plan area. Remember, it was plan area, and all the water discharging along these lines into these downpipes here. So quite simply, you calculate the roof area, and in this case they're both the same roof area is going into the downpipe, and from that plan area to downpipe A was 92 square meters. The plan area of roof discharge into downpipe B was 92. So referring back to our downpipe table, which was this one, downpipe sizes, what did we say it was? How many? 92 square meters. So 92 square meters, better check the roof pitch. That's one thing, do be aware in the exam, roof pitch. Okay? Note the roof pitch is 21, because otherwise you might be looking on the wrong line. Right? There are different calculation lines on the chart here. So roof pitch here from 0 to 25 degrees, 25 degrees, etc. So from 92 square meters, we looked at this, which was the plan area of the roof discharging. We find 92, which is just under the point of 100 here. And we run that across until such time it hits that line, that 0 to 1 to 25. And I'll use this pointer, sorry. At that point there, and for the point of this exercise, I can only assume that Max Hines has rounded it up to make it easier to read off the chart. So if you do round it up, just note it on your work. Say round it to the nearest thing I can see, because this chart is quite hard to read, and whether it's 90, or you're sitting there, whether it's 10,000 or whether it's 10,500. I mean, it's up to you. So as long as you're clear, I'm marking the paper. As long as you're clear, all right. So just say, look, this is rounded. If you've rounded it up, just to make it clear for you. Don't round it down. If you say I rounded it down, potentially you are undersizing your stuff. So undersizing it. So that was the point where we pulled off this point, and at this point, this junction here, we have 10,500, which was the cross-sectional area of the external gutter based on the intensity, and that was applied that gave us this answer here. So the gutter size required. Okay. Sorry, go back to the downpipes. So that was the gutter size required. Jumping around a bit, my apologies. Downpipes, sizing the downpipes, we had 92 square meters. So that put us into this category here, 0 to 25. Sizing the downpipes, we were into this point here, and there was a 100 millimeter downpipe. The limit there is 155 square meters. Okay, so that was for the downpipe, and the gutter was finding this area and interpolating or rounding it up to find the gutter capacity. The last part of that exercise was to assume that the gutter size, to suggest the gutter size, assume that the gutter is 100 millimeters deep, and then you divide it by that, and that gives you the width of the gutter. Okay? Is there any questions? Remember, the roof pitch is 21 degrees. It varies depending which one you go. Okay. We'll look at another one here. This is interesting. Also, roof pitch is, I don't know if we covered, did we cover this one last week? We rushed through it. The roof pitch here is 21 degrees. So the difference here is the downpipes in the center. So what's the consequence of that?
It's not going to have, well, think about the way it falls.
Yep. So with the downpipe in the center, the downpipe here is still catching the entire amount of roof area, but the gutter is only catching half of it. Does that make sense? So if your rain hits this roof, it runs to the gutter and runs this way to a central downpipe. The rain hits there and runs this way to a central downpipe. So the downpipe calculation is the full area of that side of the roof. Everything that's going that way ends up in that gutter. But the gutter calculation is only half of it. So be a little bit cautious about the sizing of that. So with DP in the center, the gutter, not only the gutter takes half. That's not my spelling, by the way, half the flow. So the gutter is shown receives 11.5 times 4. That gives you 46 square meters. So really it is only receiving half that width, okay, half that length by the width. Does that make sense? So it's only catching half the roof, the other half of the roof, etc. So it goes to a central downpipe. But the downpipe calculation must be the whole roof in this particular case. However, the downpipe A and B receive the full flow from each side of the roof, therefore 23 by 4, 92 square meters. So if we're sizing that, on this particular one, the roof pitch 21 degrees, okay, so the gutter is shown receives that 46 square meters. So if we want to go back to the gutter size, go back to the table. Okay, 46 square meters is sitting just in there somewhere, is it? So approximately in there. 40 would be about there, just around that line there. Okay. Down here. So from that particular table, let's go through all this again. Here we go. So from figure 15, gutter size A is 5,000. I would have made it a little bit more than that. I would have read that as 5,000. And gutter size B is 5,000. Okay. And the so, however, the downpipe and the flow receive the full. Okay, so the downpipes are. Oh, I see what it means. Ask me what that is. Okay, so from table 5, the downpipe A and B. Okay, that turns out, if we go back to the table, so we're onto this table here, and what we were catching, how many square meters? (92 square meters) that are toing and froing. Okay, so with 92 square meters, we were still into this lot here at 21 degrees. The diameter is still 100 millimeters. Okay? Or if you wanted to, you can specify a rectangular one, and that would be 100 by 50. Right? Just remember the flow rates on the rectangular downpipe, it's not so good. So there's a bit of switching between these forms, so you'll have to do that in your exam as well. Let's see if this, if you were to size the gutter here, and you assumed it was 100 millimeters deep, then it would say that your gutter was only need to be 50 millimeters wide, and then you would say, that's probably not realistic as a gutter. It could do it, but it's not very good one. So you probably upscale that to a larger gutter, or a shallower gutter that's wider. So, similarly, this particular roof, again, this is equally catching water equally. This was, I think we did this exercise together. So this is a fully hipped roof. You're all familiar with what a fully hipped roof is? Okay. It's not a roof that hasn't been on a diet for a long time. Okay. It's, it means that everything, all the ends fall outwards. Most of our houses in New Zealand in the 60s were fully hipped roofs, and in this case, effectively, we're dividing the water equally to these downpipes. Okay. Again, the pitch is 21 degrees. It's downpipes A and B. Go through the calculations. Again, we go back to the chart. So we work out the plan area to start with. So that would be 23 plan area of the roof down charge into that. It's 23 by 8. That's the whole thing.
Is it only 23 by 4?
It should be, but they've done. This is changed. So if you were to discharge all that roof into a single downpipe, which you could on this one, that would be looking at the entire roof plan area, referring to the table 5, that's where we size our downpipe, and that would give us a 150 millimeter diameter. Okay, the gutter size, referring to the table figure 15, is okay. So just be noted, as half the rainwater will flow one side and half on the other side. Again, the water is being split in this roof in terms of its flow. Does that make sense? Because there's one downpipe, not all the water's not starting here and going all the way around this way and ending up there. You're taking water flow from half the roof, water flow from half the roof. So the gutter size will be based on half the catchment, not the full catchment. Say that again. If there is just the one downpipe, the downpipe will be calculated on the entire roof area, because it receives everything. Everything goes into one downpipe. That is the entire roof area, okay? But the gutter size, you will assume it's equally spread, because that seems logical, to go in either direction. It doesn't make any sense to run your gutters all the way around to that. It makes sense to just go this way to there, or even from there to there, and from there to there. Okay? Otherwise, because your gutter has a fall on it, and if it gets really, really, really long, it starts to sit down on the house a little bit lower. And if you look at gutter manufacturers, downpipe manufacturers like Diamond, they'll suggest that 18 meters is kind of the maximum run that you should have, because of the fall, you start to notice the angle of the house that the gutters sit on. So they'll suggest an 18 meter run. You don't have to know that thing. Okay, so 92 square meters, that gives us the cross-sectional area, and then again, assuming it is 100 millimeters deep, this gutter is going to be 100 millimeters wide. And here's an example of where you assume it's only 75 millimeters deep. In this case, the gutter becomes 133 wide. Okay? So if you want to do a really, really shallow gutter that's really wide, and we look the advantages of that the other week, because you can get stuff blowing off and leaves, easy to clean. Who's ever tried to clean gutters on a corrugated iron roof? Okay, anyone who's older than 20? Okay, you tend to try and, you're pushing crap, bird poos and all sorts. You're pushing it along the gutter, and that really is cutting into your fingers if you're not careful. It's quite difficult to do, so a wider gutter is sometimes really quite desirable from a maintenance point of view. Okay? So getting a different profile gutter, you might want it from the way it looks and the way it feels on the house as a design decision. And very popular for a while with those box gutters, the square gutters. They take more, you can get box gutters that carry a lot more water than your standard sort of half or quarter round gutter. Okay, so that might be desirable. You've got to watch them sometimes because they get a lot of them have clips on the inside, really hard to clean. Some of the box ones have clips on the outside, a lot easier to clean because you can't run your hands through. So having a wider gutter sometimes is a great benefit. So area, looking at this plain area, I won't say this looks a lot like your exam question. Just remember, the exam isn't there to trick you at all. The exam is to say, did you follow? I'm not sure. So it's not there, there's no trick questions in exams. It's a case of, here's the question. It should be a straightforward answer. Okay, are you aware of the question? So plain area into discharging into root to downpipe A. So this is a gabled roof. You can see that these lines run all the way to the end, so it's a gabled roof, even though it turns a corner. And I think this is the one we did on the board the other day, isn't it? This, for the three of you that were awake at that time. Okay, so we're catching all of this roof here, discharging it into this point, catching all of this roof area and discharging it into this point. Okay? So going from that, stormwater roof sheet answer, the planned roof area discharging into downpipe A. So if you calculate all the areas that make up that part of it, that gave us 128 million squared. And if the planned area discharging into downpipe B, again, sometimes you have to break it up into triangles if you have to get the answer. If this one here, you could almost treat that as a square because we're talking planned areas. So collecting all that and that gave us this figure here, 96 square meters. The downpipe size, if we go back to the chart, scroll back to have a look at it, that will give us a downpipe size. Remember, 28 degrees. Okay? So that could be a little trick. Check the pitch. Okay, don't assume it's always going to be the lower pitches. Alright, check the pitch. Okay, and then, so the downpipe, that gave us 100 millimeter downpipe, 100 millimeter downpipe, or a square downpipe in that section. The gutter size required for section was based on directly on that because we caught all of that water into that gutter. It's not split, like there's no downpipe there, for example. That gave us that figure, gutter size for section B, again collecting all the water in here, not splitting it, all ending up in one place. That gave us this and the answer, and assuming the depth of the gutter at 100 mils, that gives us the answer of 100 by 145. And in this particular case, this one would say, oh, this will be 100 by 112. But you can assume that larger gutter will probably be the one you choose for the whole house. Otherwise, different gutter sizes in the house will look a bit ugly. So that's probably why we've only got the one outcome there. And you'll just say, you might, often for example, when you're doing drawings, you might have some specifications and you'll calculate something and then say minimum joist size or joist span at 600 cents is this, but you might want that particular timber size and then you'll place them closer together. So you write minimum centres equals this. So the council don't come along and say, well, you didn't place them at this and this and this, because you want to use them for a different purpose. So something like that. So just make notes if you feel it's unclear and say, look, we could, part of the roof could use a smaller size, but it doesn't make sense to have two different size gutters on the roof. So assume the larger for the whole thing. Does that make sense on that one? If you've got a whole lot of little gutter sizes, 10 different gutter sizes, just choose one. Okay? And it's going to be the largest of them. Okay? So, and that pretty much takes us to the end. Any questions with regards to that little recap on those stories? We saw some of these things. I talked about that. Yes, yes. But these lectures already exist on there. Should be up there. So, like I said, this is the type of question you'll be asked. Remember, you'll be scrolling in between this chart here and this chart here. It's unlikely you'll be using any of these other charts. I think these are a repeat anyway. So you'll see this chart and this one here. This is to get the downpipes. Remember, if the downpipe is catching, it's about plant area, okay? We had the example where the downpipe was catching the whole roof, okay? But that's not necessarily the same figure you plug in for the gutters. The gutters are catching their own area, okay? Wherever the downpipe might be placed. But the downpipe is taking the total roof area in that particular direction, like we've discussed. Remember, there are roof pitches here. There are different roof pitches, okay? And don't always assume that this one's going to be the answer. Go back to the question and find out what the roof pitch is. All right? So the roof pitch also pertains to this chart here. Okay? So if you're looking for 100 square meters, you can see the variation the roof pitch gives you. It's something from just over 10,000 to something that's over 45 degrees, which is an unusual roof, but that's heading up to 15,000. So it's almost a 50% difference in the answer. So do get the right line, okay, and do get the right pitch in here. And the gutter versus the downpipe sizing. The gutter may be not taking the same area, but the downpipe will be taking the total of whichever's going to that side of the house, or in fact, like one of the examples showed, the entire house. That happened a lot in New Zealand. In the 1960s, you go along and you go, how many downpipes on this house? 1 or 2. You go, wow, they hardly worked. And then that went into some soakage pit, which out West Auckland just meant that the water ran over the ground because it was all clean. And so you had huge amounts of roof going very, very small, or just 1 or 2 gutters, 1 or 2 downpipes. And invariably they would block and fail and things like that. So it's not great practice, and that's why Diamond suggests 18 metres is really the length of run that you want to sort of, it's pretty much where you want to stop. So for example, it would probably be more prudent to put the gutter here in terms of the efficiency of that system. But the knock-on effect of that means you might need to hang a downpipe under the house to get it to the point where it goes to the main stormwater line. So this is easy because you just put them up along here. But for a better working roof, you might decide that the gutters are better placed, the downpipes rather, are better placed in the centre. But that's not for the exam, that's for you as a designer. Right? So the exam will just answer the question. You don't have to be creative. Just give a question. So remember, we're working with these tables, and so there's that example there. It's taking, remember, the gutter was sized on the roof area that the gutter was servicing, the downpipe was the whole area. So be aware of that. Just take a quick analysis, a snapshot of the question before you go and answer it. Okay? And that takes us to the end. So, yeah. So we're going to go back and cover our lecture we did a few weeks ago, and that was about wastes, joys. And again, we'll go through something that's very similar to your exam question. So, we were just talking about stormwater, that's all the fresh water that falls on your roof. Now we're talking about poos and weeds that come out of the house, dirty water from the bath, dirty water from the shower. dirty water or toothpaste in the basins and things like that. Okay, what we see here is one solution where you have this is the sewer or the main drain, discharge drain, okay, and that has a vent in it, okay. So your distances to a vented discharge drain. And this one, they're all 10 metre max because everything effectively runs directly to it, with the odd exception, runs straight into this drain, okay. When we have, and there are ways of sizing them. So for example, this particular one refers to the maximum length of waste pipe in an untrapped fixture, okay. So if you have a fixture is a basin or a toilet or something like that, so those are plumbing fixtures, okay. So if you have one, they normally have their own trap in it. And what this is suggesting is if you're really close to an outlet like a floor waste gully or the main vented line, you could get away with not putting that trap in that fixture, okay? It's not a good idea, let's say it that way. All right, and you can see it's a very short length of pipe before you have to get to something that is vented or has a trap in it. So normally, a trapped fixture, we talk about that 2.5 metre length distance. So a trapped fixture, that's your basin, it has a little trap underneath it. Has a little bit of water that stays in the trap, stops your basin smelling like poos, okay? That's what stops the stinky air coming out of the sewer, back up through the pipe. That's got that little trap, that little S thing that sits under your basin. Okay, that's a trapped fixture, all right? But generally, the distance from there to a vented, so either a floor waste gully or this sewer line that runs outside the house here, this one here, for a fixture is only 2.5 metres. And if it's longer than that, then you have to put a vent in it. So, there's a whole bunch of tables that you'll get, all right, and these are joyful to go through. Effectively, this is the type of question you'll be asked for your exam, okay? Now, unfortunately, with all our tables, they're very, very small, so I want you to get your information clearly. I need to zoom into that. So if I zoom in on this. Oh, that one? Look at that. That's different from my Mac. Okay. So, what you'll have is this chart here, and you'll be provided with this chart. And what this does, okay, I don't think you'll be getting an autopsy table. I assume you know what that is. But you might get, unlikely a bain marie, but you will get a basin. And a basin might be abbreviated as B. You'll be giving a code or a legend on the side to say, tell what the fixtures are. And that has the minimum size of trap outlet and fixture discharge pipe. So if you have a basin, whoops, it's got to be 40 millimeters. Okay, that's your discharge pipe from the basin, 40 millimeters. According to this table here, which is what you get. There is a New Zealand system that's still hanging over from the old days, which says that you can use a 32 mil pipe, all right? And the only time you'd probably entertain that is if you had a basin, an old basin, which had a trap size that, or a outlet that was the smaller size. But generally, it's the 40, okay? And that particular fixture has a rating. This has a rating of 1. Okay, let's go to something that's a little bit more familiar. Bath with a shower, bath shower, that the waste out of that can also be 40, but that has a fixture rating of 4. Okay? So effectively it's saying it's going to take more water. Effectively it's going to take more water, all right? Especially in the long showers that some people we know. So various other things. Here's a sink, okay? Now a sink could be a double or a sink is different. A sink is not your hand basin in your bathroom. A sink is in your kitchen. So that has a larger trap size. You can still get away with 40 if you're on the New Zealand system, but has a larger pipe and trap size, and it has a discharge rating of 3. Okay? Now the reason we want to know these things, so all these different things you can think of, urinals, disgusting things, water closet pan, toilet for example. Okay? So you've got a water closet pan or a toilet that has WC, that's an international word for it, and you've got a minimum waste size of 80, okay? And that has a discharge unit of 6. See this here? What does F valve suggest? So that's like a flush valve as opposed to a system. Okay, so often you go into a commercial situation, you just push the button, they go shh. Good noises there. Anyway, they probably don't operate a system. They operate a pressurized pipe, it's often called a ring main or flush valve system, and that just comes straight off the mains. So they don't actually have individual systems, whereas your normal domestic toilet or a small commercial toilet will have a system. So that's the difference there. So it will have a rating of 4. Okay? And the reason for this is that effectively you will need to actually tally up all these discharge units that go into a single point and then make sure that that waste pipe has the capacity to carry it. Okay? So this is a way of mathematically determining, rather than going, I think this will work, these figures are basically saying to yourself and the council, this will work. Okay, and the council will want to see this. So, from that, so you'll get a whole lot of other tables here as well, which are interesting. Can you read that? It looks a bit blurry to me. But what it tells you is the size of pipe